I think we can all agree that sleeping in rules, and you can sleep in every morning when you prep your breakfast with things like these protein waffles. Keep them in your freezer, and you can make chocolate chip protein waffles, or top them with strawberries and blueberries and whipped cream, and you've got yourself a great breakfast. So the next time some dummy tries to tell you Lego my ego, you say, all right, no problem. I got enough protein waffles in Snack City to feed every preschool in the county. Here's how you make them. Just kidding, I need this. I make my protein pancakes and my protein waffles using oat flour, so to start off, we need to turn some rolled oats into flour. To do that, all you need to do is add the oats to a blender, turn it on high speed, and wait for the oats to be pulverized down into a powder. You don't need to buy this pre-ground at the store, it's 5 times the cost and it's super easy to make on your own. What I like to do is process down a large amount at once and then store the excess in my pantry for later use. Now we need to make the dry mix for our waffles, so get out a large bowl, place it over a scale, and add to it 1 2/3 cups or 200 grams of the oat flour we just made, 3/4 of a cup or 100 grams of cornstarch, 2.5 teaspoons or 10 grams of baking powder, about 4 scoops or 125 grams of vanilla whey protein, and about 4 scoops or 125 grams of vanilla casein protein. Mix those ingredients together until no clumps remain. What you have here in the bowl is the dry protein pancake mix. This is what I keep in my pantry for easy access when I want protein pancakes. Next to the bowl, add all of your liquid ingredients. Start with 2.5 cups or 600 grams of liquid egg whites. If you wanted to use whole eggs, you could do that. Just match the weight so it's equal. I'm guessing that's going to be somewhere around 8 eggs. Then you can add in 3 1/3 cups or 750 grams of plain non-fat Greek yogurt. And lastly, to thin it out, you can add about a cup or 240 grams of water. The amount of water to use will be variable. Some of you may need more, some of you may need less. You just want to have a batter that is pourable and easy to add to your waffle iron. This batter is going to thicken up the longer it sits because the oats and the casein will have more time to hydrate. So while you are cooking your waffles, you're going to need to add more water to it in order to keep it at the same consistency. When your batter is ready to go, start preheating your waffle iron and spray it with some oil. I forgot to buy oil spray at the store, so I'm just giving mine a little patty pat with an oil-drenched paper towel. Next, you can start the waffle cooking process. Here I am trying to figure out how to get this batter out of the bowl and into the waffle iron without creating a large mess, and you already know the answer is the Swiss Army knife of my kitchen, the trusty frozen bowl. For reference, my waffle iron is an 8-inch by 8-inch square, and the amount of batter that goes in per run is about 200 to 230 grams each time. Spread it out so the batter fills the bottom of the waffle iron, close the lid, and then allow it to cook for 3 to 5 minutes or until it is finished. How long your waffles take to cook is going to depend on the temperature of your waffle iron. My waffle iron has one temperature, and that's on. So I plug it in and I let the Lord decide what the temperature is going to be. And unfortunately, I have no idea what that temperature is. As I mentioned a minute ago, the batter is going to thicken up as it sits, so here you can see me adding some more water just to maintain the same consistency. As your waffles finished, pull them from the waffle iron and place them on a wire-lined baking dish to cool, and continue with the cooking process until all of your batter is gone. If you're using a square waffle iron like me, take a knife and cut your big waffles into 4 smaller pieces. I know a question that will come up about these waffles is about the protein powder used in the recipe. I don't have any casein, can I use just whey? The answer is 100% absolutely not. The protein blend is important for texture, it's important for flavor, and in the case of these waffles specifically, if you try to make them using 100% whey, the batter is going to run out the sides of your waffle iron and create a giant mess in your kitchen. And I promise you, you don't want to clean that up. To make chocolate chip waffles, you can add the batter to the waffle iron and then sprinkle over about 1/2 tablespoon or 7 grams of mini chocolate chips. You could mix the chocolate chips right into the batter if you wanted to, but I find that when you do it that way, they are more prone to melting when poured into the waffle iron. If you just sprinkle them over the top after you add in the batter, they will stay closer to their normal shape. I got 40 waffles out of this batch and it took me about an hour to cook through them all. Once they've cooled down to about room temperature, line them up nicely on your sheet pan, move them into the freezer, and allow them to flash freeze until they are frozen solid. This step is important if you plan to vacuum seal these because if you try to vacuum seal a soft waffle, it will get smushed into oblivion. So once the waffles are frozen solid, they can then be moved into their vacuum seal bags. Ever since I found out about the Zwilling Fresh and Safe vacuum system, it has been my storage method of choice for everything that goes inside of Snack City. The Fresh and Safe system is the watchdog of the waffle, the fighter against freezer burn, and the sentry of snack. With these Fresh and Safe bags, you can open and close the bags to grab out what you need and easily reseal them with the vacuum pump to remove all the air. If you're going to spend the time, the money, and the energy to prep your snacks for months in advance, you're going to want to make sure they're protected. Imagine how annoyed you'd be to open your freezer and see that they have been ruined by freezer burn and you have to throw them all away. Zwilling's a great brand. They make awesome knives and cookware, and this Fresh and Safe system has become a staple in my meal prep kitchen. The 7-piece vacuum starter set comes with a vacuum pump, 1 large glass container, 1 small glass container, and 2 small and 2 medium bags. The medium bags are what I use most often, and if you live in the US and you use the code MEALPREP at checkout, they're going to send you 10 extra medium bags for free. With how much snack prep I do, this thing has been a game changer for me. Check out the link in the description if you're interested. Shout out to Zwilling for sponsoring the video. So once they're all bagged up, move them into the freezer for the long sleep. Whenever you're ready to eat them, grab a bag from the freezer, open it up, and you have 3 main methods to reheat. You can use a toaster, you can put them in the air fryer, or you can toss them in the microwave. For the toaster method, throw a couple in, drop them down, and once they're hot, they're ready to go. Just wash them carefully to make sure they don't burn. Then you can close up the bag, re-vacuum it, and move it back into Snack City in the freezer. For the air fryer method, I do literally everything in the air fryer at 400 degrees Fahrenheit until it is ready. It will probably only take 2 or 3 minutes, so just like with the toaster, watch it carefully to make sure it doesn't burn. These were the chocolate chip waffles, so I'm going to dress them up with another half of a tablespoon or 7 grams of mini chocolate chips, and then about a tablespoon and a half or 23 grams of syrup. So for these 4 protein waffles with the chocolate chips and the syrup, you're looking at 450 calories with 36 grams of protein. For the plain version of the waffles, you could just eat them with syrup, or one of my favorite ways to do it is to add a few strawberries and blueberries, say 50 grams of strawberries and 20 grams of blueberries, then drizzle over a tablespoon and a half or 23 grams of maple syrup, and lastly add 2 tablespoons or 15 grams of whipped cream. For these 4 protein waffles with the toppings, it's 419 calories with 37 grams of protein. An easy way to cut back on some of the calories from the syrup is to macerate the fruit in some Splenda. That will release its natural juices and you won't have to use any syrup on the waffles. Each individual plain waffle without any toppings has about 68 calories and 9 grams of protein, and each individual chocolate chip waffle has about 77 calories with 9 grams of protein. Whether you plan to use these waffles as a breakfast or a snack, they are a must-have inside of Snack City. Just think of all the extra time you're going to get to sleep in when you have these prepped in your freezer ready to go. Back when I was Joshy Spreadsheets and I worked a corporate job, I used to be the king of the on-the-clock special. Sleep in extra late, pack your breakfast with you, bring it to work, and eat it while you sit at your desk. The written version for these protein waffles is on my website, and you can find a link to that in the description of this video below. Snack City's not going to build itself, so get to building brick by brick, start with these waffles, and soon enough, you'll be mayor of Snack City in your own freezer. See you guys next week.